Hey everybody, it's TF and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the S.H Figuarts Super Saiyan Son Goku Full Power version. So I'm sorry I haven't made reviews in a while. I have been actually very busy with moving into a new apartment. Now I'm in the apartment and you're seeing the review here. In the first review that I'm doing in my apartment, it's going to be of this Goku, which is pretty much a redone version of the one we had a good few years ago. But now it's on an updated Goku body here, and it's a little bit cheaper compared to what the one for previously is now. It's probably a little harder to get now. So we have this new one here, and I'm very excited to go ahead and take a look at it. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the packaging top half. Nothing too special when it comes to S.H Figuarts, although uniquely with each character they're designed pretty well. S.H Figuarts, Super Saiyan Son Goku, Full Power. You get the figure, the box, and the contents there. Top half, you can see some of the images of the figure being posed, as well as the bottom half here, the Tamashii Nations quality sticker, the Toei animation sticker, as well as Dragon Ball Z, Bandai Tamashii Nations, Funimation, ages 15 and up, and Bandai. On this side here, it's just a couple other parts being shown off of the figure, as well as all the stuff that we saw earlier where it says Super Saiyan Goku and his Figuarts. On this side, again, Super Saiyan Son Goku, Full Power, and some other stuff towards the bottom there that we've already read off. And there's on the top, there's not much going on there. It's just a piece of the hair from one of the images that we saw. And on the bottom here, another image of the figure, as well as Son Goku and whatnot with S.H Figuarts. Now we look on the back, and there's a lot going on here. You see a lot of the different posing and alternate pieces going on there, as well as super modeling and whatnot, styles, simple style and heroic action, as well as super action. And then we get down to the bottom half here. It's the Bluefin distribution sticker with ages 15 and up, and the barcode in case you need it. Don't really know if it's going to be in any stores, but there you go. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Alright, so here's the figure out of the packaging. It is pretty decent. It's not much different from what you're getting with newer Gokus nowadays, but it's still a pretty nice offering here. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories this figure comes with, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Quick look at the instruction booklet. He doesn't come with much, so there's really one side being used here. I guess this is warnings on the other side. On the inside of the box, we do also have a premium Bandai little snippet here, which I'm going to throw this in the trash because Premium Bandai is a horrible website. So here's everything this figure comes with. It may not seem like a lot of stuff compared to other S.H Figuarts, but for 35 to 40 bucks, I'm not going to really complain about it. So first of all, we have this open pair of these gripped hands. Not really gripped, but like, you know, the fingers are bent and whatnot. More action posing hands. These look great. I need to turn the focus on, or manual focus. So these things, yeah, there's not much to talk about when it comes to the paint. It's just molded in one type of plastic for the skin tone. And they do have the fingernails sculpted in there, which is pretty nice. Then we have these fingers for, you know, the ring and pinky finger are bent. And you can see the thumb, middle, and index finger. These are cool. We get these with a lot of Gokus as well. A lot of the Gokus come with pretty much the similar pair of hands that we've gotten for a while. And I'm not too much to complain about with me, honestly. And then we have these open more for, you know, hands for blast effects and whatnot. You get a little bit of a better look at the fingernails right there. And he comes packaged with fists, but last but not least, we have two instant transmission hands. The regular Son Goku with the normal hair that we've gotten a few times with that new body. You know, only has one, I believe, but this does have two here, so that's cool. Now for face plates, we have a more smiling face. You can see some of the nice paint going on with the yellow, and the eyes I think are actually pretty well done. And you have some paint going on in the mouth there. Overall, sculpting on these faces are pretty good. I do like this one, the screaming one, where you can see the eyebrows a little, you know, more of the wrinkles in the eyes around there, looking really nice. And the blue in the eyes are also very nicely painted. Last but not least, we have this more angry grit teeth face. Also, again, really nice when it comes to how they did some of the paint details, like right up here when he is squinting his eyebrows and whatnot. Now, I actually do have the previous one, and this is the one I'm talking about. You can see it's on that older body, or older articulation scheme, although they're both very similar when it comes to sculpt. There's definitely some differences. You can't see it too well, but let me just go ahead and show. There's a little bit better shading on the previous one, I think. I mean, they actually attempted some paint apps. It looks a little too glossy on the new one. There's definitely some paint apps going on in the legs. It might be a little too bright to see. But there's definitely some variation of orange going on in here, a little bit darker, a little bit lighter in some areas. Also on the skin tone, there's some more variation. So I think the paint's a little bit better, but I think I actually like the color on the hair more here, as well as, I mean, there's darker blues and whatnot. But I think the sculpt, I like the body, I think the new body nice enough. And I think the overall sculpt, what we got going on here is, I think, just a tiny bit better. To each their own if you prefer one or the other, though. So here's the head sculpt. It actually looks really nice. I like how just like how they got all the lines going on in the hair there. To me, in some areas, it looks a little clumped. So what I'm talking about is, like, if we look at the hair here, as you can see, I just feel like there's some excess plastic going on there. So I don't know how I feel about that too much. I feel like I see some seam lines from, I don't know, parts of the paint in certain areas. When I say seam lines, just like they're like stuck to the mold or something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It's not super duper clean when you're looking right at it, but the face sculpt that it is, packaged with is pretty good. And the hair, nicely spiked up, looking really awesome. Now, again, there's not much new here on the front. If you own some of the previous Gokus that have this, uniform, then yeah, you know what's going to go on here. But we have some nice wrinkles. The blues came out really nice. I like how the much darker blues have popped out a little bit. I mean, there's not much detail, but the way that they're molded, paint detail, but the way they're molded, they really do. I think they look really good. When it comes to actual details, like, sculpting and whatnot, there is detail, and it looks really nice with nice lines going on the belt. Some wrinkles going on throughout the orange, as you can see. Not much paint variation in the arms. It looks a little glossy in some areas, but that's fine to me. I think here it's actually a little bit more consistent compared to the previous one. I think because of how some of the shading is, I think some of the joints are a little bit, it's not going to pick up on camera for some reason, but the actual joint's going to look a little lighter compared to the shading going on there. So again, while shading is nice here, there might be a tiny bit of shading going on in the arms. I actually can't. If I look at it, I think it's just the glossiness that's getting to me. But all the coloring is more consistent, I think. So that's good. This comes packaged with fists. These are armbands are sculpted on there, and the paint is very nice. There's no blue going onto the skin tone there. Now we get down to the bottom, towards here on the legs. Very much the same thing. There's even on the back here, you can see all that sculpting going on. These shoulder pads up here are a bit of a separate piece. You can pop them out if you want, but they're in a socket to where, there's a hole going on here, and they will pivot around if you move it a bit. So that's cool. And then we get to the shoes. Looking good with a nice red line. It looks a little glossy. Pretty nice. Some wrinkles going on, as you can see, around the boots. And then this top of the feet here. Looking good. Here's what the bottom of the feet look like. There's a little bit of some serial printing going on the bottom there. Maybe I gotta get a rotating stand. I always say it, but I need to get one, man. So there's what this looks like. Giving you a quick 360 rotation. And if I have it with me, I do have it with me. Quite literally, very much the same. Actually, no, it's not the same. It's very similar, but there are differences. So there's probably somebody in the comments who already said it. However, I kind of messed up because I just straight up insinuated, or assumed that they are similar. But look what we got going on in the chest. That's at least a pretty big difference, as you can see there. It's more exposed blue here compared to here. Now, the rest of the body, I can't tell you. Now, we do have a different sash, of course, but I believe the rest, except for maybe parts of the boots on this one, is going to be reused, which it's Goku. He's going to have a similar body for, ever, pretty much, as long as we've known this version of Goku. So I'm not really upset about that. But I am wrong when I thought that this was just a remold and reuse. I mean, yeah, mostly there are reused parts, but the parts where it matters, like in the chest and whatnot, and of course the face sculpts in the head, and the little belts are new. Before we get to articulation, I probably should have mentioned this. A lot of you already know this, though. But that's how the hair comes off, and then that's how the face comes off. Popping off the actual head here is a little difficult. That's something I've noticed lately with some of these figures that have interchangeable heads. They just keep this head on here, but they don't really... It feels like they have molded the head to where they don't really want you to separate it unless it comes with a uniquely sculpted head, of course. So I just wanted to point that out there real quick in case you wanted to pop the head off and change the faces around. Best to just keep the head on there and change the faces with the headpiece on. Anyway, very basic articulation. We do have this neck joint that is, it hinges and it's at a ball joint going up into the head as well as a swivel into the neck. But there's also separate range of motion going on at the neck. However, my exact figure, for some reason, is being it's just very stiff. So I can't really move it forward and back that much. So I can, the tilt I can get out of here is pretty okay though. We do have a bit of a forward and then not so much back with the butterfly joint, but it can go all the way around. We do go in and out, and we do have an upper arm swivel. We do have double joint elbows. I already talked about the this little piece here that moves. That's the double joint elbow right there. Swivel the wrist, hinge at the wrist, and it swivels into the arm as well as into the hand, so you can rotate it like a bunch of figures like other S.H. Figuarts, Figma, as well as McFarlane Toys. We do have a bit of a swivel, but if you might want to pull up a little bit and you can get more swivel. Actually, I don't think you get a lot of swivel out of here. For some reason, I'm not really getting any swivel. I don't even know if they have swivel going on right now. But the forward and back motion is actually pretty decent. Side to side is good. It's just the swivel is giving me problems. There's swivel here as well as a joint at the belt. Legs go forward that much. Back actually really well. You do have an in and out split. You have to maneuver a little bit because of these pieces here, but it's not a perfect split. You can see these separate pieces. We do have nice upper thigh swivel though. Double joint knee. We have a swivel here at the foot as it bends forward and back. The forward and back motion is not the greatest, but you can maneuver it to be a little bit better. And then we do have toe hinge. So here are most of the S.H. Figuarts Gokus that I own. I'm probably missing a couple from here. But they're all about the same height, excluding, the heights of the different hairs and whatnot. And then I have a different array of, S.H. Figuarts like Piccolo and the Cell Saga Vegeta. And on the far left, Black Series Mando. On the far right, Marvel Legends Retro Spidey. You can see that there are some characters that are going to be taller, and of course some that are shorter. This guy is pretty good in range with other S.H. Figuarts. So yeah, this figure is pretty decent. It's just not much different from newer Gokus that we own, but it's nice to have a new full power version in the updated body. There's a few things I think with some of the paint apps could be a little bit better. I actually noticed that there was a bit of a scuff on the blue on the shirt on the chest of mine. And it could have a little bit better shading, kind of like the previous one did. But I like the sculpt and overall body mold a little bit more here. The amount of hands that we do get is pretty nice. I do wish I would have paid a little bit extra for some effects pieces. That would have been cool. But overall, it's a very nice figure, and for about 30 to 40 bucks in that typical range there, it's very good. I have a link down in the description below of places where you can get all this if this figure if you need it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.